If you know Tarantino, you know that he's a really talented director. He has made so much classics that, you can call him a brilliant director now. But he made a movie called Jackie Brown. Most people think it's his worst movie. I really don't understand why. It's a really well written movie and well made movie, and all. I first thought this was about to be the worst Tarantino film. So this is when I watched it, I watched it as at last. But now I know it's really great. And how I said in my Pulp Fiction review, I said that every Tarantino movie is good. So every Tarantino is the same. Every Tarantino is good. So every Tarantino movie is good. What people thought, what people say about this movie is that it is long and it's bad. Well, they don't say it's bad, but they say it's like it gets boring and stuff. But I think the opposite. Like Inglourious Bastards. It has a slow pace, but it's you can understand the story. It's a really well written story, like Inglourious Bastards. I'm gonna get into Inglourious Bastards later because that's another review. So, what is Jackie Brown? So Jackie Brown is about a like flight. Well, it's like drug deals and stuff. I don't want to really tell you the plot too much, but I want to. It contains drug deals and it kind of not a plot twist, but you kind of get like you. It's weird. It gets weird. After there's a lot of characters, and I think that's the heart of the movie. I think that's the best thing about this movie. It's the characters. Yeah, sure, you can. The the cinematography is great, but the characters are the best thing in this thing. So also, what Tarantino made an adaptation to this book. I haven't read it, but I'm gonna read it someday. But he made it such a unique way. He made it different than his other films. This is such a different movie. First of all, this movie is kind of different than everything. First of all, in Tarantino films, like you have this fun, or well, sometimes you have this fun violence, like the Candyland shootout or something like that. It's all blood and they use corpses' bodies and stuff, and it's really fun. And then you have this kind of violence that's is more realistic. This movie takes the realistic side of Tarantino's violence and makes it into a story. I actually enjoyed this movie, but it's not, my how I said before, every Tarantino movie is good, but this is not the movie that, if you tell someone like, hey, Jackie Brown, they're going to be like, what's Jackie Brown normally? Because if you say to someone like, you're like, hey, can you name Tarantino films? Yeah, sure. Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, Inglourious Bastard, Django. They will tell you that, and they will skip Jackie Brown. And this is such an underrated movie. That's the reason nobody is gonna tell you about Jackie Brown. Yes, people do know about Jackie Brown, but it's not the Tarantino you kind of know of. You hear of Tarantino and you hear of Pulp Fiction, or another title like that, like Kill Bill or something like that. You don't hear Jackie Brown. You hear those other movies, and they're great movies too. They're really great movies. I could say they're better than this, but as I said, every Tarantino movie is the same. So yes, thank you so much for watching this review, I guess. As I said, I'm gonna give it a 9.2 out of 10. It's a good movie. You should definitely watch this. It's on the edge of my favorite movies. it's not like Inglourious Basterds, that's one of my favorite movies, but it's a great movie, it's just, it's so different than the other Tarantino. It's kind of weird going think about, Jackie Brown.